right, April 16th, 2024, start time at 5 o'clock. And at this time, if you'll stand with us for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Please join the board with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Actually, what I used to tell my students was, I was just seeing if y'all was paying attention. Approval of the agenda. Anything we need to add or delete?
Yeah, we need to make two changes. First of all, 5A, the student representatives, Cambria Neal and Bethany Butcher. Ms. Rapp sent me an email today and said they would not be able to attend. They had a ball game planned, I think, and I'm not sure they get to do that either, but they won't be here tonight. And also on the second page of your agenda, 7B, the letters, teachers, recognitions, we have to reschedule that for May 20th, so they won't be here tonight either. So those are the only changes that I have.
Okay, superintendent's updates, board reports. Mr. Bean.
Okay, first of all, I need to remind the board and ask Ms. Galato to put on the next board agenda for May 6th my evaluation. It needs to be done on May 6th, and then the board needs to probably do theirs in June. Second of all, I asked Skanska, who's our construction manager for our projects, our building projects, to give us another update from both projects that's going on. So I'm going to just very quickly go through this with you. At Glade Creek, all the dirt work and hydro seeding is now complete. Substantial completion was submitted and approved by our architect ZMM on March the 5th of 2024. M&H is currently working on completing closeout documentation for final completion. Punch-out list items to be corrected are completed by M&H, and their subcontractors will be verified by ZMM and Terradon. M&H will continue to monitor and maintain erosion and sediment control according to previously approved change proposal for the set monthly fee until the new building contract has been awarded. As far as the Cherry River project is concerned, SQP, who's the general contractor, is taking all areas to grade with masonry and pour slabs as proceeding as those areas become available. Vertical block installation has begun in Area D and will continue through the site as slabs are completed. Underground electrical conduit and plumbing is ongoing in areas B, C, and the science lab. In the next several weeks, SQP will be continuing to concrete slab pours and vertical block installation, as well as underground utilities, especially in the new kitchen area. The construction timeline calls for the completion date late spring or early summer of 2025. Note this date could vary slightly with the acceptance or rejection of several cost proposals currently under evaluation by the design team. This cost proposal is now complete, and official response from ZMM and Skanska is forthcoming to SQP. The Glade Creek design, the new school we're getting ready to build, is nearly ready for submission and review for the board on the May 6th board meeting. Everything seems to be on schedule for bids this summer as expected. Now that vertical construction has begun at Cherry River, we'll begin to see the actual shape of the new facility start to emerge. And then he simply said, if you have any other questions, please contact him. His name is Mike Hall. He's the Senior Program Manager for Skanska Integrated Solutions. So that's the update on our construction. The next thing is only a couple people in this room have gotten this news so far today, so it's going to be kind of a surprise to all the board members and everyone else. But the last board meeting, we announced that, and I gave an update on our MIP submission. The MIP is a $1 million request from the SBA to replace the sewer system in Nicholas County High School. And they told us we'd hear something in June. Well, I actually heard something this morning. and they did approve our request for $1 million to replace the sewer system at Nix County High School. So we're tickled to death with that, and you know, we're working with CMM right now on our project, but the law requires us to advertise for architects to get that project started. So we will go through that process of getting that started and getting those contacts out to any architects that's interested in doing this project, and then get that moving as quickly as possible. That is a need that's been needed for a long, long time. And then this summer, we'll, as I mentioned before, we'll be submitting another project, a needs project for several $1 million to renovate our CTE center in Craigsville, because that obviously, unless we want to keep buying garbage cans to put in the hallway to catch the water, we need to get some things changed over there. So that'll be done in June. So good news as far as that goes, and Andy Neptune, who's the president of the SBA, called me today, and Kim happened to catch me. I was on my way to the Somersville Middle School to observe classrooms, and she hollered out the window and caught me and brought me back. And he told me the news. I said, do I have permission to tell my board? He said, well, you're about the 10th superintendent to ask me that today. And he said, the answer is yes, you can. But I have to go down on May 6th to actually get the check from the governor and bring it back and give it to Krista, put it in her little greasy hands and put it in the binder. So we can get started on that project. But that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. We need to back up and approve the minutes of the meetings held on April 8th, 2024.
I've read the minutes. I see no corrections or additions unless someone else does. So if not, I move to approve.
Thank you. Mr. Moose makes a motion to approve, seconded by
Second.
Mr. Ferguson. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, at this time, we have a recognition for Above and Beyond, Dr. Lewis Gilbert and the Somersville Rotary members. Okay. You can come around and go front.
Sorry, I thought somebody else would read it. Oh.
You're supposed to face you and them.
You don't look at that.
Guilty as charged. You're supposed to say something.
Okay. Sorry, guys, I was unprepared. Can I go ahead and call for the other volunteers for the concession stand as well? Because they all do this kind of for the group. Pete and Jan Sigler and Prather Construction as well. Would you all come on up? Because it's all one. Right. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I usually just take their checks. I don't give them anything back. Over the past 2 years, the Somersville Rotary has been instrumental in enhancing the experiences of our students, particularly during basketball season. Your countless hours of volunteer work and generous contributions have significantly contributed to the success of our concession stands operations. This year alone, your efforts have resulted in an impressive profits of $6,098.52, which will be allocated towards reducing the cost of prom tickets for all NCHS students. We'd also like to acknowledge Lee and Steve Burkholder for their exceptional leadership and dedication to spearheading this initiative and their tireless efforts in being pivotal in making this project a resounding success. Additionally, we extend our gratitude to all the Rotary members who have generously volunteered their time to ensure the smooth operation of the concession stand. Furthermore, we'd like to express our appreciation to Prather Construction and Pete and Jan Sigler for their generous contributions towards the establishment of the concession stand for the past 2 years. Their support has played a crucial role in getting this project off the ground and has enabled us to enhance the experience of our students further. So I think in our prom account we have like $15,000, and we've reduced the cost from $60 a ticket to $30 a ticket for the past 2 years, thanks to these guys. Thank you. No problem. Just that's all. Oh, hang on. Let me get it. Sorry. Come on.
Oh, that's a big crowd.
Get your wide angle out.
Mr. Moose, step over this way just, okay, I got you. There you go, Mr. D. I think I have everyone. Take one more just to make sure. Okay. Thank you.
We gotta move on.
You got ball games, don't you?
There's 9 seats up here.
At this time, we'll have Dr. Lee, Dr. Sarah Lee, and Mr. Mike Williams to come forward.
You need to come shake hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. President, Mr. Superintendent, board members, it is an honor to be with you and present to you the 2024 Nicholas County Service Employee of the Year nominees. Just to be nominated by your schools, I think is a great honor because that tells a lot about you and your character just to be nominated. So congratulations to each one. I'll ask if you will to come forth now. Representing Birch River Elementary, Holly Bell. Representing Zila Elementary, Angela Brown. Representing Mount Lookout Elementary, Victoria Morriston. Representing Mount Nebo Elementary, Debbie Lopatron. Representing Glade Creek Elementary, Kathy Maloney. Representing Panther Creek Elementary, Joyce Alexander. Representing Summersville Elementary, Dina Sweeney. Representing Cherry River Elementary, Julie Taylor. Representing Golly River Elementary, Daryl Cox. Representing Summersville Middle School, Sandra Bostic. Representing Richwood Middle School, Tracy Adkins. Representing Nicholas County High School, Jody McCutcheon.
Yes, you have to come up. I know how much you love this.
Representing Richwood High School, Mary Jane Moore. And last but certainly not least, representing Nicholas County Career and Technical Center, Tia McMillian.
Let me get my notes here. Excuse me. Service employees play a vital role in the education of our students. Our bus drivers drive our kids to and from school safely. Our aides assist in classroom instruction. Our cooks feed them. Our custodians clean up their messes and make our buildings attractive and safe. And our secretaries encourage to communicate with parents when they're sick. Too often, service employees are taken for granted and not given the recognition that they deserve. Fortunately, Nicholas County Schools is much aware of those contributions made by our service employees and make it a point to recognize them. Tonight, we are pleased to announce our Nicholas County Service Employee of the Year for 2024, and that person is Sandra Bostic. So we'll get a picture with our nominating person. Now, one of the things we will do at a later board meeting is we'll bring Sandra back and our Teacher of the Year back for a more formal recognition and also some goodies of some kind for you at that time. So,
Really squeeze it. Love your neighbors, just a little tight. Can't see Mr. Moose. Okay. Here. Okay.
I'm sorry, Andrew. It's all right.
Hey, I get the privilege of announcing the candidates or the nominees for Teacher of the Year for Nicholas County Schools. And representing Birch River Elementary, we have Teresa Conrad. Representing Zila Elementary, Courtney Wood. Representing Mount Lookout Elementary, Letha Priest. Representing Mount Nebo Elementary, Lou Yance. Representing Glade Creek Elementary, Lori Cox. Representing Panther Creek Elementary, Chris Tenney. Representing Summersville Elementary, Courtney Martin. Representing Cherry River Elementary, Amanda Beaver. Representing Summersville Middle School, Justin Woods. Representing Richwood Middle School, Lutricia Kincaid. I'm trying to play softball tonight. Representing Nicholas County High School, Jesse Burrell. Representing Richwood High School, Kayla Thomas. Representing Nicholas County Career and Technical Center, Jason Miller. Top-notch candidates and lots of first-grade teachers. Look at that.
Just to give you a little background on how we do this process. I should have done this when I talked to about service people. But each school selects a nominee, a teacher of the year, and a service employee of the year. Then after we get those narratives back, I had to form a committee in my office by the way the state requires us to do it. I'm supposed to form a committee out of my directors to look at the applications, sit down, have conversations on what we want to do as far as recognitions go. So I gave these out to the directors before Easter break. And I said, you got a homework assignment. Your assignment to take these home, study them all. I had 3 people doing service and 3 people doing professional. And then Mrs. Weitzel was over both areas, and then I was over that. And so they did put a lot of time into this. It just wasn't say, well, let's just give it to this person this year or whatever. We took it very seriously. I've been very fortunate to be able to get in all the classrooms. I haven't been in Jesse and Kayla's class yet, but I plan on doing that. I may be in Jesse's class tomorrow, by the way, and Kayla. But I've got everybody else I've been in their classroom or visited with them in some form. Sometimes I get there to visit school and they didn't have kids or it was on their planning. We just sat and talk. But I've really made a concerted effort to actually get in the classrooms and see the teachers teach and see the kids learn. And so it's been very good for me. It gives me a better background on what kind of teachers we have. You know, education sometimes doesn't get the best reputation, but I assure you, we have some really top-notch educators in our school system, and this is just an example of them. It's not all of them, but it's a good example of them, so we're really, really fortunate. Our teachers make the biggest difference in a child's education. The impact that they have on a child's life is immeasurable and sometimes is not realized until much later in life. They have the challenge of motivating, instructing, and evaluating students in very difficult times in education. The pressure they are under to get positive results has never been more intense than they are today. One of my early principal colleagues and mentors was a man named Tom Neal, who was principal of Beaver Elementary School for like 25 years. Tom would always say that it didn't matter what kind of program you had, didn't matter what kind of equipment you had, didn't matter what your textbook was, none of that mattered unless you had a good teacher in front of the students. And that was so true. And I remember that for 50 years almost from when he made that presentation to our principals meeting. So, you know, no matter what we have, all the bells and whistles we have, if these people don't do their jobs, those things don't mean a thing. And so we're very fortunate to have the ones we have. This is still true today. In my visits to classrooms, I observed some wonderful instruction. And as I mentioned, I visited all of our nominees except for Jesse and Kayla. I'll be doing it very, very, very soon. So with that, I'm very, very happy to announce our 2025, that's the way it works. It's next year's Teacher of the Year is Letha Priest. I want to read something that I think Mrs. Duffield may have sent me. The staff of Mount Lookout Elementary is truly working together to make a positive, fun, and engaging foundation education experience for the entire school. Therefore, when colleagues are asked to nominate, many different teachers are all worthy of such an honor as Teacher of the Year. It's quite an undertaking to narrow it down, but they did. It is certainly a great honor to present Letha Priest as the Teacher of the Year from Mount Lookout Elementary. She represents a group of teachers that excel in their craft, make data-informed decisions for the betterment of their students, and encourage their students to make great gains in academics, behaviors, and social-emotional skills. Mrs. Priest is a role model for these traits with a positive attitude, positive, consistent communication with families, and willingness to support her students and fellow colleagues through collaboration. She also exemplifies what it means to be a lifelong learner. She recently completed her master's in literacy education. She is employing her new knowledge and skills into her instructional strategies and practices in the first grade classroom. She has served for the past 2 summers as the Energy Express coordinator and currently serves as class dojo mentor, PBIS team member, and leadership team member. Mrs. Priest is truly an asset and blessing to Mount Lookout Elementary School and Nicholas County Schools. Again, congratulations. Let the crowd in here a little bit.
Kind of just
Form
swoosh
two
around a
little
little
rows.
bit more. Okay. Take a second.
Thank you.
Do we have a delegation? Any
Yes, Sarah Prendergast. Sarah Prendergast.
I'm Eddie.
Okay, so while Mr. Hanshaw's getting the timer ready, remember you can't call out employee names, student names. You have 3 minutes, and when we tell you to start, if you will tell us your name and where you're from, your address, that's what's required. Yeah, and the board cannot respond, but we will listen.
Okay.
Thank you. You ready, Chris? Okay, go ahead.
My name is Sarah Prendergast, and I live at 1008 Ponderosa Drive, Summersville, West Virginia. Good evening, my name is Sarah Prendergast, and I am the mother of Haley Sisk. Haley is an active member of Nicholas County High School Marching Grizzlies, as well as a student in Nicholas County Careers and Technical Center in Law and Public Safety class, and was recently named a Skills USA delegate for the state. While I'm proud of my daughter's accomplishments, I want her to grow as a student and be passionate about things that matter to her. With the upcoming school year, students have been informed of a change in class schedule that may limit them to only VOTEC or band during the day and not both. The schedule change will be changing class schedules from an 8-period schedule to a 7-period schedule. Yes, they can always take band after school and be a part of the Marching Grizzlies, but it is more than that. Band is overlooked by most. It is more than showing up for football games and playing halftime shows. All band students work outside in the summer in the heat, and then through the winter and the rain, and are still expected to march and do the best of their abilities. They go to band competitions the morning after games, as well as parades that they march for miles in. They are hardworking, dedicated, and passionate students. With the schedule change, we are limiting students to being able to fill skills that they can use post-secondary education. VOTEC is no longer what it used to be. It is a program allowing students to gain skills and knowledge that they can use right out of high school. It allows some a jump start on college or even a job right out of high school. I know that schedules can be changed and allow for some students to take both. By doing this, some of them are required to take online classes. This might work for some students, but I'm sure it will not work for all students. As a parent who wants their child to reach their fullest educational potential, I also feel that all students involved in this should have the opportunity to take both classes without having to worry about taking online classes. By removing the 7-class schedule, I believe more opportunities are available.
I just asked that there could be consideration for the change of the 7-class schedule to remain at the 8-class schedule, not just for current band students, but also for incoming freshmen. I want students to have choices on educational opportunities and not feel that they are limited or will have to double on work just so they can be a participant in both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a button for this?
Just double tap the TV.
Oh, tap the TV.
Double tap.
There's double tap.
Nope. You can just swipe left. Swipe left, it's like a book, like you're trying to paint.
There we go. Okay. Hey, good evening. Thanks for this opportunity to present tonight, especially with the lofty and very awesome agenda you have. It's great to be here and see success in Nicholas County recognized, and also appreciate the work that you all put into the success of our school system. We're excited to be here tonight because it's all about educating to empower a drug-free future. What we're going to present tonight really belongs to you all. And first and foremost, we want to thank you for giving us the access and the opportunity to collect this data. I'm presenting first just a quick preview tonight, and then my partner in crime here, Kim Major, is going to actually get into some quick data. What we want you to know tonight is there is a lot more to this. There's an overview that you don't have. This is a preview, a quick preview, because if we came to give the whole executive summary, it would probably take us about 2 hours to get through the data. You will be supplied that information, and we ask that you please dig into it, because there's a lot of great information relative to what's happening in our schools here in Nicholas County. Also, I'd like to say we're glad to have Mike Williams in the house tonight, because he is also a great, Board of Education is a great partner, but he's the guy that's on the button and participates with us, and we're glad to have him at the table with your partnership. Next. Oops, okay. Tonight what we want to talk about, these slides are just a little bit backwards. I want to talk about the what, the who, and the why. Then this one, it'll be next. It's back. That's okay, no, you can go back. Okay. What is the Nicholas County Intervention Coalition? Our mission is to collaborate with community partners to prevent substance misuse amongst youth and adults in Nicholas County, West Virginia. Raising awareness, using evidence-based programs, advocating for policy change, and implementing environmental strategies. That's the mission of the Nicholas Coalition. And we come to here tonight as the coalition, but we're actually the prevention committee. Skip that one. The Nicholas County Youth Survey that you all authorized in the school system, we've collected data twice. We do it biannually. We collected it in 2020 and also in the fall of 2022. It was given to 7th, 9th, and 11th graders. And I got to tell you, incredibly, our response numbers were high. So at this time, we want to make sure that we give a big thank you to the schools and the teachers that helped us get this data collected, because it's unbelievable. Even the surveyor says it's unreal, the percentage of response and kids that participated to the numbers of kids that could. What did we look at? We looked at the following usage: tobacco, e-cigarettes, alcohol, marijuana, prescription drug use, and opioid painkillers. That's what the survey dug into, usage in Nicholas County schools. The Nicholas County data identified as the most important measuring drug use and prescription among youth. And I will tell you that this next list of things that we identified, federal agencies have identified these factors as the most important. So what did we ask for? What did we look at? annual and monthly use, where students use, when students use, and then the core measures were what they reported 30-day use, perception of risk, and then perception of parental disapproval of use, and then, of course, perception of friends' disapproval of use. The Nicholas County Youth Prevention Survey addressed both risk factors and protective factors. Risk factors are characteristics at the biological, psychological, family, community, or cultural level that are associated with higher likelihood of negative outcomes. The protective factors are characteristics associated with a lower likelihood of negative outcomes or that reduce a risk factor's impact. Protective factors may be seen as positive countering events. Some risk factors are fixed. Others, like family income, peer groups, or adverse childhood experiences, can change over time. Why it matters. The importance of our community, or a community. Adolescents who feel a strong sense of community connection and are equipped with the tools to resist harmful behavior are less prone to engaging in substance use and associated activities. When educators, parents, and other adult figures impart refusal or resistance skills to teens, it significantly raises the chances of them avoiding risky behavior. 5 steps in the process and analysis of getting to where we want to go. Tonight we present the first step, and that's the assessment. We've done the assessment. The guiding principles are cultural competencies and sustainability. Cultural competence, the ability of an individual or organization to understand and interact effectively with people who have different values, lifestyles, and traditions based on their distinctive heritage and social relationships. Sustainability, the process of building an adaptive and effective system that achieves and maintains desired long-term results. Finally, there are 7 strategies for effective community change. What we know is this: there is no one silver bullet or single strategy to prevent drug use. No single policy change will stop the misuse. No one curriculum or program can eliminate drug use in our community. It takes many coordinated strategies to change specific behaviors. Now what I'd like to do is turn it over to Kim to highlight, and this is a very small highlight of the data.
Thank you. Okay, as Mayor Schaefer mentioned, the data is extensive. I'll have for you a USB that has the executive summary of the student behavior survey along with the detailed, standard detailed report. So this is just a preview. It covers a variety of topics. We chose to focus on substance use and mental health.
I think you're going the wrong way, brother.
Oh, shoot. I don't have a license for this.
Use your left hand, maybe that'll help.
You're just sliding this way? Yeah, you got it.
That's it. Yeah, swipe
Okay.
towards me.
One more?
One more.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All right.
There we go.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So this data is based on the student behavior survey given in the fall of 2022. Again, the survey is anonymous. 15% of students admit to illicit drug use in the past year. In 9th grade, 12% of 9th graders reported drug use, and 24% of 11th graders reported drug use. So we can see it jumps from 9th grade to 11th grade quite significantly. The most common drugs used by students in Nicholas County, e-cigarettes. That also includes vape. They use e-cigarettes just as the verbiage, it's all encompassing. At 14%, alcohol 12%, marijuana 8%, and cigarettes 7%. So where are students using drugs? In Nicholas County, the majority of students use drugs at home. Conversely, school is the least common location for drug use. When asked if their schools set clear rules on using drugs at school, 75.8% of students responded often or a lot. So this is a positive measure. This data shows that students are aware of the rules in the schools and also possibly the consequences. So when are students using drugs? This percentage is of those students who said they use drugs. 83% of them say on the weekends, with 47% after school. So based on the data, we're seeing that students are using at home and on the weekends. As Mayor Schaefer touched on risk and protective factors, we know that when youth are engaged in activities, whether it be in the school or in the community, they're less likely to engage in risky behavior or risky decision making. So our youth need to be engaged outside of school. Suicide is the third leading cause of death for youth between the ages of 10 and 24. 27.9% of students reporting having thoughts of suicide. In 2020, 5% of survey students reported thinking about suicide often or a lot. And when we did the survey in 2023, that had risen to 7.9%. So of the high school students polled, around 15% reported an attempted suicide that resulted in an injury that needed to be treated by healthcare professionals. So these cases are concerning, but we know that mental health issues are on the rise, not just here in our state of West Virginia, but across the country. So what can you do? Well, we don't have time this evening. We would be respectful of your very large agenda to really dig deep and have open discussions and conversations about strategies that we could entail and use in partnership. So in the meantime, what I'd like you to do is just reflect on the data presented and think about what you can do. I will provide the board, as I mentioned before, an electronic copy of the student behavior survey, and I would ask the board for your continued partnership with the Nicholas Intervention Coalition in facilitating the fall 2024 student behavior survey. This gives students an opportunity to tell us what their issues are and concerns that they are experiencing, and for us to listen through the data and initiate those changes that are necessary to make sure that our youth live happy, successful lives. Does anyone have any questions?
I have one. On the survey, is there a place there where the students are asked why they make the choice to use these?
No, sir.
Okay. It'd be interesting to see why they feel like they have to do that.
In the data, when we get it and stuff, will there be, is there some conclusions to the best practices as far as educating the students? Is there, is there a plan how to implement that? And I guess the next question is, are we doing that? Is our school system doing that?
Right, well, that would definitely be a discussion to have. We would like to come back again and dive in a little bit deeper to the data that we have. The data itself does not have that type of summary, but the Nicholas Intervention Coalition in partnership, you do, Mike Williams with the board is on the prevention committee. We are looking at those. As the mayor mentioned, we have those 7 strategies, or the 5, and building capacity is one of the big ones. We've done the first step in that colorful circle of the assessment of the data, and then it's building capacity, engagement, and so on.
Mr. Reed, back to your question, when we do the survey, we actually get to build some questions. So in 2024, we're hoping that we'll get to do the survey again in the school system, and then you get the opportunity to, it's a standard, standard question or survey, but we do get to add things that, you want to put in there that might not even be related to something else. You do get to add questions.
Yeah, we could add about 15. It costs a little bit more, but we are able to
I
add.
know when we have to have, unfortunately, have expulsion hearings quite often on vaping and things like that. And we try to always ask the child, why did you make this choice? And that's why I asked that question. And we get a variety of answers.
And Mayor, on a related subject, it's related, but it's not, I think on behalf of the board, because they've talked about a lot, the officers that you all are able to provide, and I would have to think that would be connected as part of the solution. Because it's not just the safety and security, it's building your relationship with those kids and stuff. And, we're all hoping that we'll be able to continue to fund that and find funding for that, because we think it's really important to be able to do that. I wanted to publicly
Well, thank you,
state that
and
to you.
again, thank you, and a comment well said, that's another piece to this big puzzle. It takes all of us collectively in all different directions, and there are a lot of great things going on in the coalition, a lot of great efforts. Our membership in the coalition is plus 20 organizations, and that could be individuals or businesses, so we're extremely proud of the coalition, there's great things to be had in the future, and we're looking forward to you all riding in that wagon with us.
Yeah, very appreciative.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
In the survey, are they made aware of all the options that are available to them through you?
The students, when there's standard questions, demographics, family, substance use, and.
Tim, I think what he's asking
Oh,
is,
sorry.
are they aware of the programs that are available to them?
Oh.
Yeah, so the programs, are they aware of programs that will help them with this issue?
Oh, okay. As far as programming, yes, I believe that the counselors are normally the folks that have those resources available in their office. We certainly provide things, pamphlets from the Nicholas Intervention Coalition that have resources in them available as well, but that's normally where that type of information is housed.
Thank you.
Thank you all one of these two videos. Well, thank you.
Mr. Williams, do you have anything to add?
I think it's just a matter of gathering the data to determine needs, so I think that's what we're doing at this time.
You're welcome.
Thank you all again.
I have to get one of them fancy TVs at the city.
Okay, number 10, action items. A, discussion with possible action on the Friends with Paws Therapy Dog Program. That is in your packet.
We had a call from First Lady Kathy Justice's office, and they would like to get the Friends with Paws Therapy Dog in more counties and in more schools before they leave office. So, especially in the community and schools classrooms, in the community and schools programs, the schools that have community and schools. Summer Dillsworth at Richwood Middle School expressed an interest in the Friends with Paws Therapy Dog program. And Mr. Beam and the principal and Ms. McAllister, we had a meeting recently to discuss it and to talk through some of the pros and cons and to make sure that we had handlers that were interested and that the administration was interested in this program. They are very interested, and they have already identified staff members that are interested in being the primary handler and then up to 3 secondary handlers. And they have also already tentatively identified community resources so that can help support the dog in the future with dog food and vet costs and some of those costs. Initially, we will receive a small grant to get the primary handlers and the secondary handlers trained. And then after that, if for some reason we would need additional people trained, it would be up to us. So I'm here tonight to seek approval to move forward with getting some people trained and pursuing the Friends with Paws Therapy Dog program at Richwood Middle School and Richwood High School. And then later, whenever they transition to Cherry River, to have it at Cherry River Elementary, Richwood Middle School, and Richwood High School. Mr. Moose, could it join the zoo?
What's the cost?
What's it cost?
Uh-huh.
Initially, we're going to receive a grant to take care of the cost. So yearly, yes, yearly there would be the vet cost associated with, your dog's going to the vet, and then the food for the dog.
And who's going to keep the dog?
Well, we've identified a primary handler, and that would be
Oh, okay, well, that's
a
good.
person at Richwood Middle School
Uh-huh.
that the husband of that person may not know, so.
And you have to,
Okay. Miss Bayless has been identified as maybe the primary handler. Is that, I wasn't sure how far the discussion has been, so don't want to get somebody in trouble.
Well, at least Mr. Bayless will have a companion in the doghouse.
Yes, he will.
and you have to maintain a liability insurance as well, right?
Yes.
So
Well, it would be primarily covered under our Brim insurance that we currently carry. So.
We had this program in Pocahontas County at Greenbank, and it's successful. The problems we ran into there was the changing of the handlers. We had the principal was the main handler, and then she left, and they had to retrain somebody else. But the biggest problem they ran into is in Pocahontas County there is no vet, so they had to take the Greenbrier County to the vet, every other month or whatever it was, and that was pretty expensive. Here, my understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong, is I think we've already found a vet that's going to provide those services to us free. And
That
then-
was my understanding.
Yeah, so they have a lot more opportunities to provide the materials that we didn't have in Pocahontas County. We had to pay out of pocket, and it got a little bit expensive for us. We still have the program, but there is a cost that after the initial grant is dissolved, there is some cost to the county.
Just a quick synopsis. How does the dog interact with the students, and how do you select the students that's going to interact with the dog, and you know how that works?
Well, the dog could go into classrooms and visit with students. The dog would primarily during the day be with the community and schools people, Summer and Billy. And we have identified a potential classroom for them so that they would have a classroom to be in there. Also, students could come into that classroom and visit with the dog. The dog could go out in the community to some community events too.
Does the handler decide kind of the use of the dog? I'm just kind of curious
Well,
how you interact the dog with what you're trying to do.
Yes,
You're trying to accomplish.
I think the handler is pretty much going to be the one responsible for the dog off of school time.
Just, okay.
And the community and schools people were primarily on school time because they're going to have more flexibility in their schedule to be able to do things.
And who is that over there? I know I met her because she was here.
Summer Dillsworth and
Billy Child.
Was that
Billy
Hank? Was that Summer
Giles.
Hank?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, they were
Yeah,
here.
Billy Giles. And they are go-getters and are really excited about the program and about having this new opportunity. And, they work so well together. And for the number of students that can be served and potentially be served in the future, it seemed like a good fit. But it would certainly also be able to go to Panther Creek, to our other community and schools, and other schools as their schedule would allow them to.
Maybe I overlooked it. There's so much to read here.
I know.
But I thought it said, don't hug the dog, don't give it commands. What's it going to do? Just sit there and look at you like the governor's dog?
Well, I think they can pet the dog, but probably not get in the dog's face. And, students will have to be instructed about the proper etiquette in dealing with the dog.
Yeah, they are told not to give it commands because it confuses the dog. It has its handlers that tells it where to go and what to do, and they don't want every child telling them,
Yes.
I believe it costs about $10,000 to train these dogs.
So how do you select a dog?
We don't select the dog, it's selected for us.
By who?
By the First Lady's Friends with Paws Committee. They already have dogs in training. And as soon as we have our handlers trained, then a dog would be assigned.
Comes from the governor then.
Yeah, what concerns me is, governors, this is last hurrah, so this community and schools program and this program, are they gonna leave with, what I'm saying?
It's a national program, and it is funded through the legislature too. So I think this has been their big push, but there is also legislative funding for the program. And I think it's seen amazing results. So I can't tell you that it's going to exist for 20 years. I can tell you that we have a 3-year grant commitment for money. So,
For a lot of those kids, it's just my opinion or whatever. A dog's a great companion. I'm a big dog lover. I mean, dogs can do some amazing things, and where some of these kids may not have a home life, if nothing else, it may teach them when they get a dog how to handle a dog too, because you can abuse those or whatever. But I'm not exactly sure how you're going to get it implemented, but if they have a method to do that and stuff, yeah, I'm a big dog guy. So.
Are they just going to stop in there on their free time, or are they going to get?
well, I think that the dog,
If the
would be in the room primarily, but also could be scheduled to visit classrooms. If we're having story time and we're reading a book and you want the dog to visit while you're reading and just meal around, they have students that they see regularly as part of their community and schools program, and these students could interact with the dog. I don't know that a dog can take 8 hours of constant petting either. I think it may need just to be there.
And they do periodically come to the school and see how the dog is doing. Like I was telling you, we had one at Greenbank, and the first dog that they got was there about 6 weeks, and they had to remove the dog because he was too young to handle all the things that they asked to do. He hadn't been trained long enough, so they brought a more mature dog, and then everything was fine. So they really keep a close eye on this to make sure it is working, and the dog's not just running around your school somewhere barking. It's not like that at all. It's just, it's on a leash all the time, and they take it everywhere they go.
Okay, after the grant, they estimate food at $900, grooming $4,500, treats and vet care at $1,000, which is probably way under, but that's $2,500 a year that somebody's going to have to pay after the grant. Now, who's going to be responsible for that? Us?
Kelly.
School?
Kelly? Yeah, Kelly will be.
Mr. Bayless back there,
Well,
It's his dog, that's right.
and actually, the dog would be property of the Nicholas County Board of Education. But they have secured, my understanding, vet care for for the dog.
Oh, yeah.
And what, I had even suggested is we could do a little advertising for people that are donating to help support the dog on our flyers that are going out. Kelly's Vet Service is providing,
I know one of the Nicholas County Community Foundation's fund is specifically geared toward something very similar to that. So
Oh.
I think that you would be able to apply for some grants and stuff. The Maisie Fund is
well,
dedicated.
that would be perfect. And we do hope to get it to the other schools too. I don't want you to think that we're just, but we would need the community and schools people just to do a special activity at a different school to integrate it into those schools. So.
It's not like you can't try it and if it doesn't work. I mean, I take it that you try it and if it doesn't work or you don't have the funding for it, it's kind of a year-by-year thing, I would think.
Then Mr. Bates is just stuck.
Yeah. You can't give a dog back, right?
Well, a dog's kind of a lifetime commitment. I'm going on 14 years with one.
I mean, are you asking the board for just to...
Approval to go through with the program to do the Friends with Paws Therapy Dog program through the
Is the
first
program, is that a 4-year commitment, 5-year commitment, 2-year commitment, 1-year commitment? Do you know what kind of commitment it is?
3 years.
3 years.
And then,
Then evaluate.
yeah, then we'll evaluate how it's working and, we can look at the cost and how much we're actually having to pay versus how much is being donated
Okay.
annually to the board so that you have an idea. But our goal is for it to be a net zero cost to the board.
Greenbank did periodic fundraisers with identified just to help support the therapy dog. And that was how they paid for it. Because the county didn't have any money to do it with, but the school did.
Did you think, Terrence, that the program had benefits? In other words,
Well, a little background. The reason we got the dogs, we had 3 student deaths in 16 months in that school. And when this program became available, I think Kathy Justice had kind of, it was in papers where we lost students to gunfire and all this kind of stuff. And they reached out to us. I was actually going into a restaurant. She called me and she said, we've heard about all the problems you've had. And we had this program. We had the community schools program already instituted. And she said we would like to, we were one of the first counties to get it. And that was the reason we got it. And it was just really for more emotional support for those kids. And it was very successful while I was there. Because I don't know about this year, I haven't been there, but it was successful while I was there. The only drawback, like I said, was the expense that the schools didn't really understand. They were going to take on the added expense. And in a small community, that's a big ask. But they had more expenses than I anticipated us having because they didn't have the resources that we had.
And that's why we wanted to have the teams meeting up front to make sure that first off, the school was all on board with doing this. And second, we had a plan for the expense.
Now, is the whole school on board or just the people that want to be handlers?
Well, they had several teachers that were willing. I mean, they had a primary handler, they had a secondary handler, and they had several teachers that were willing to be handlers of the dog. And I talked to both Mr. Williams and Mr. Collins and the community and schools people. So I have not surveyed the whole school, but from the number of people that were willing to train to be a handler, I was very impressed. And when I was over there last night for a meeting and briefly talked to the administration, they were very excited.
Any other discussion, questions? Does someone want to make a motion to approve action item A?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Green makes a motion to approve action item A. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Berry.
Second by Mr. Berry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
Okay.
I'm afraid it'd be too much of a distraction, too much expense, and sorry, I like dogs.
Do you have your opinion? Sure. Okay, consent items, finance A, paying the current invoices.
Okay, your packet contained most of our invoices. However, I handed out some today before our first meeting. And just a side note, our accounts payable person had a family emergency, but she still came in this morning at 4:48, I believe, and printed these checks for you guys to review. So, great employee. So if you want to take a minute to look at those that I handed out, because I know you didn't have time.
And of course, the modulars are FEMA reimbursed, right?
Right, and on that one, that should be the last payment at the higher rate, since you guys approved the agreement.
Since you negotiated.
That's right. And then those food service items were just, they were going to be due before the next board meeting. And there was a little bit of delay in the cooks getting that back because of that first week of April, being on spring break. So that timing didn't work out very well, so that's why we had to give those to you to look at on short notice.
Does your contract have a different page? Is there just 2 pages to that?
So if there are no questions with invoices, the next item is supplements and transfers. That was also in your packet. Most of these are just small adjustments. We had a small decrease in the amount of our allocation for alternative ed. We got a $15,000 tourism expansion grant at the Community Technical Center. And a $1,600 grant for 7th and 8th grade, Summersville Middle School, Discover Your Future, and a $6,000 grant for Making Schools Work Conference for CTE also. Next item is contracts. There are 3. The first being Summersville Baptist Church Family Life Center. That is for the NCHS JROTC Military Ball. And again, they're letting us have that at no cost. So shout out to them for, this is the 3rd thing that they're letting us have for no cost there, so we appreciate that. Then there's one for Mountain State Moments, and that company is going to be planning and decorating for the military ball at NCHS. lastly, Summersville Arena and Conference Center for the Summersville Middle School formal, spring formal on Friday, May the 3rd.
How's that funded, Crystal?
They do fundraisers to do that, or, well, one of those may be selling tickets for them, but yeah, the school pays for that. Next item is the monthly treasurer's report.
That is really neat to finally have somebody donating a facility at no charge.
Yeah.
We gotta send them a big thank you or something.
Yeah, yes, I think we should. On the treasurer's report, there isn't really anything out of the ordinary there. We're pretty far along through the year, so you can see our percentage of the budget committed is in the 70s and 80% in most categories since we're approaching year end. You guys have any questions about any of those items? Okay, the next items are out-of-state travel requests. The math field day, now that will come out of our levy funds for educational enhancement. And that is at Concord University. Let's see, Skills USA trips for CTE.
Is that math under trip request?
Yeah, the math field day is the first. They're taking a leased vehicle to math field day, to take students to math field day, the regional math field day.
Your state math.
Oh. The first time. Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm in the wrong
Oh, it's
place.
on the agenda, the way that it
I
is.
didn't see it in there.
Right, it's the first item on the agenda.
Print agenda. Yeah, on the print agenda, but I don't think it's in, I don't think there's a specific.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I mean, that's fine, but I just didn't see it.
Yeah, it looks like we have 3 students going to state.
According to that, me that
Great,
list.
great.
That's the emailed me that one.
Oh, okay, I got it. I see. On the paper.
And then it looks like there are several CTE students that are getting to participate in Skills USA. And we have minus.
Yeah, somehow math field day didn't get in our packet.
Yeah, none of those.
The rest of them are there, yeah. But it's state math field day.
Yes, typically parents transport their children, but we have a situation where some are not able to do that. So our sponsors will be with their leased vehicle.
Well, that's kudos to Leslie and Kim for doing that, because they don't have to do that. That's a big undertaking.
What's the date of that one? Do we?
Matt Field Day?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's this Saturday? This Saturday.
This Saturday. Ooh. Okay.
Any questions for Kristen? Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to accept consent items A, finance 1, 2, 3, under contracts A, B, and C, the monthly treasurer's report, and then, of course, B, the out-of-state travel leased vehicle request 1, 2, 3, 4.
So moved.
Mr. Moose makes a motion, seconded by
Second.
Mr. Green. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Personnel.
Good evening. We had a couple corrections or additions to the probationary service and the professional continuing contracts from last board meeting. So that's why you see those under A there. And then we have substitute professional and substitute service for some long-term sub positions to get us through to the end of the year. Under B, we have the recommended personnel action for 24-25. These are the reductions in force, transfers for service and for professional. We personally met with all of these individuals so that they would know what's going on. And also so that we can keep everybody as informed as possible. We have posted all of the jobs that we are anticipating for next year and also for summer going up, so they can already know the job IDs and the positions. Now, anybody that was on service, that was on the RIP or transfer, they are automatic applicants for the service positions within their classification. So they don't have to do anything. They will be automatic applicants for those positions.
What's the difference between the PE teacher and the wellness teacher?
A PE teacher just will teach PE, but a wellness teacher is going to teach PE and health. It's integrated into the PE program instead of being a standalone.
Good question.
See that chart?
I had a question from someone that says, I've not passed the praxis. Should I go ahead and apply, or do I need to wait?
I would always encourage anybody that's interested in a position to apply. And then if we don't have certified applicants, then we can look at the most qualified person after that.
Yeah, they have 6 years of full-time experience, so
Okay.
they do apply.
I would encourage them to apply, yes.
All right, thank you.
Yes. We can do a couple steps. If they're the successful applicant, we can do a couple steps while they're trying to pass their praxis, or they can enroll in classes and get on a permit.
Anyone request, do we have any personnel hearings we're going to
We do not.
entertain?
No, we do not.
These that were recommended for transfer, have they all accepted that?
Yes, that is the position. Yes, this is the position by code that they would go to.
Okay.
And whenever they receive the letter, we explain that to them. Now, they can bid on another job if that's not the job that they want, but we have to place them in a job when we are transferring professional. With service, it's a complete different process. So if that's not the job that they would desire for next year, they're certainly free to apply for any of the jobs that we're posting.
Okay. These?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to bring all the service in and like one time and say, your most senior?
Yes. We're tentatively have that scheduled for the 24th because the postings will come down on the 23rd. They're scheduled to go up tomorrow and come down on the 23rd. That's pending that everything is approved tonight. They're scheduled to go up tomorrow. And on the 24th at 1 o'clock, I have the clerks and accountants scheduled to come in from 1 to 1:30. 1:30 to 2:30, ECATs, 2:30 to 3:30, aides, and if they can't get coverage to come in, we'll set it up by teams, and when it's their seniority time, we will open it up and let them participate that way.
And if somebody doesn't choose to participate?
I've asked them to give me their top 3 options when it's their seniority time that they would like, and if it's not available, I've also asked for a phone number. So, trying to cover all of the bases so that we can get, now there will be a second round of postings that I anticipate putting up the following Monday, and that way they'll be up Monday through Friday, and then we'll do this process again. So at subsequent board meetings, I will be bringing you, because these will all be effective for next year, so I would just prefer to wait until we get to the end, and then here's where we're at.
Well, we gave you permission to post and hire to move this along, so.
When they leave the meeting, we will have them sign forms so they will know what position that they're going to be recommended for. And there may be some, based on what happens at these meetings, for example, the clerk and accountant, there may be some rescinding of some of this personnel action because the reason for it no longer exists. So I'll just rescind that action.
Any questions for Mrs. Weitzel?
What is ECCAT? ECCAT.
ECAT.
What's that stand for?
Early Childhood Classroom Assistant Teacher. That's under House Bill 3035. We're moving up to second grade now. We put them in first grade this year, and then next year they're moving up to second grade.
Assistant teacher?
early childhood classroom assistant teacher.
Assistant teacher.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have a short version of that, don't we?
That is the short.
That is the short. Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have a motion to accept as many pages of personnel agenda?
You have that motion, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Moose. Mr. Moose makes a motion, seconded by? Second by Mr. Berry. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That brings us to reports. Mr. Ferguson, SESC.
Nothing to report, they actually meet tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Bright Horizons, Mr. Green.
Nothing right now. Next week.
Next week. Items for future agendas. Does anybody have an item for future agenda?
My evaluation.
Mr. Bean's evaluation. Oh my.
It's gonna happen. I'll do it.
Didn't you used to evaluate me?
I did. Don't hold that against me.
All right. Future meeting dates, regular meeting Monday, May 6th, here at the board office, starting at 6. Regular meeting Monday, May 20th, here at the board office, starting at 6. Then in Monday, June 3rd and Monday, June 17th, both at the board office, starting at 6.
Now, in the past on the evaluations, we had an evaluation that had multiple pages. And we had to fill them all out. Or is there a short form evaluation now?
Yeah, they've
that
changed.
we'll be able to do in a short period of
Yeah,
time?
it's a lot shorter process than you.
Okay. Because the other one took hours to fill out.
Last year, we used a short form. Last year, we used short form. No, wait a minute.
I don't remember.
Last year, we didn't do it.
No.
Had a special meeting for just a double
I
screen.
think we did have a short form.
That was that was us.
Us, yeah.
That was us, that wasn't superintendent.
No.
Superintendent was leaving, so we weren't required to have it.
Right.
So we didn't do one last
The year before was the last one.
year. Okay, all hearts and minds clear. We have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Mr. Green makes a motion to adjourn, seconded by?
Second.
Mr. Berry, all in favor? Aye. At 6:33.